Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. It's Dr. Daphne. We're going to talk about custom orthotics today. Are they worth it? Yes, they are for some, but not for others, so we will get into the episode. Okay, for my disclaimer, this is not a doctor-patient relationship, and this is for informational purposes only and not medical advice. Please see my full disclaimer in the description. Custom orthotics, are they worth it? Yes, they're invaluable to some patients, but not for others, and I'll explain why. First, what is an orthotic? They're a supportive device that goes in your shoe, and they're designed to realign the foot in a better position for function, and that reduces stress and strain caused by malalignment. The custom molded or generic off-the-shelf orthotics are your two choices, and sometimes they're called arch supports, but the custom molded orthotics are so much more than the generics. Custom molded orthotics are molded the foot in a neutral position for optimal function. Now, if the foot is not operating around a functional neutral position, there's all kinds of problems with function. And just think of a car operating in the wrong gear as an analogy. It's just not working right. They're causing all kinds of problems. And for instance, I'll talk to you about one particular problem.
This is my friend Krista. She has a very flat foot. You can see the upper foot there with the arch collapsed. Here's another view of it. So there's a lot of strain on the midfoot. Here's her outside of her orthotic, and you can see how she gets straightened up when she gets into her molded orthotic. Here's a before picture with her feet collapsed, and an after picture with her feet straightened up in her custom molded orthotic.
A lot of these issues are structural and bony in nature, and then therapy just can't help that. So a prescription for custom orthotics requires a knowledgeable podiatrist to assess the abnormal mechanics, foot type that results in the specific problems. A cast or impression digitally is taken of the foot in a neutral position. So that's captured, and the detailed orthotic prescription is written, and the orthotic lab constructs the device. Because of the tedious work that it takes and the length of time to create the orthotic and the customization, they are very high cost, high value though, $300 to $500. So what conditions are treated with an orthotic? Malalignment issues, usually bony in nature, that cause stress, strain, and pain. Plantar fasciitis, forefoot problems such as neuromas, instability of the foot that cause tendinitis, joint issues, and they offload chronic painful areas as well as support arthritic conditions as well. And one of the big reasons why I wanted to educate on this subject is there's unsuspecting people paying hundreds of dollars for so-called custom orthotics from doing their own foam box impressions at home from an online service or a store salesman with little to no training. So this untrained person or store salesman with little to no training in foot mechanics anatomy have no idea what the neutral position is, nor do they have any idea what biomechanical issue caused the current foot problem to begin with. So they don't know how to fashion an orthotic to correct for this. So these stores or online companies charge around $200 for these custom orthotics, and they have no follow-up and no way to get the device modified if you're having problems. And please know, part of the cost of the custom orthotics is for the expertise of the podiatrist who has a doctorate, 2 to 4 years of residency, plus modifications are common after use, and follow-up is important. So please see a podiatrist for your custom orthotics. Don't try to use the foam box impression or the store salesman. Now, custom orthotics are not for everyone. Generic orthotics can do the job sometimes, but where custom molded orthotics are necessary, they have been extremely valuable, and I can give you 3 reasons why. 1, you get individual customization based on an exam by your podiatrist for your specific foot condition. And number 2, the material that's used in a custom orthotic lasts a lifetime, and this is according to orthotic companies. It's usually made of polypropylene, and yes, I've seen this material last for decades. The top cover usually needs replacing, however. And 3, I have seen custom orthotics transform chronically painful feet into functional, pain-free feet, giving the people back their life. And custom orthotics do so much more than over-the-counter orthotics. They can be adjusted, wedged, offloaded, and this is so much more than over-the-counter orthotics. So I'll give you an example of one of my patients that basically her life turned around from using custom molded orthotics. Okay, one of my patients that did great with custom orthotics, she had chronic neuromas for years, and it would hurt her. She'd get stabbing pain at the ball of the foot, shooting pain out into the toes. And she's tried other orthotics, the generic ones, the softer ones, which don't always work for everybody. And so I talked her into trying a custom molded orthotic because the outside part of her foot had a lot of motion. Near the baby toe and the fourth toe, that section of the foot to her midfoot was moving around a lot. And when that happens, that can irritate the nerve next to the fourth metatarsal head area, sort of in the ball. When that area is moving around, you get a lot of irritation. So I knew that a custom orthotics would put her in that neutral position and kind of control that motion a little bit, stop that irritation there. And thank the Lord it did. And she did great afterwards. We also had metatarsal pads on there to offload the front of her foot. And she just loved her new orthotics. And I was so thankful because I kind of talked her into it, and they're expensive, but she did great. With all that said, there are very few scientific studies proving the effectiveness of custom orthotics over generic orthotics. I've seen multitude of patients in my practice where custom ordered orthotics have helped tremendously. They are not the answer to every foot problem, but your podiatrist will guide you through the process and give you pros and cons. Over-the-counter orthotics are helpful at the start, but they might not customize for the individual foot problem. Also, functional control is lacking, as the over-the-counter material is not supportive like the molded kind, and you can see it here.
Here's the Spencos orthotics. You can see how much it deforms with digital pressure, whereas this custom orthotics, it does not deform. And here's a ready orthotic, another generic one. It deforms, and the custom molded one does not deform with thumb pressure. And I've shown you the polypropylene material there. Here's the undersurface. The custom has that rear foot posting where the other two do not. And there's the custom orthotic with the rear foot post. You can see how stable it is versus the ready orthotic over-the-counter type. Does not have that posting, so the rear foot's not as stable. Same with the Spencos orthotic here. Does not have the posting that the custom.
Certain negatives to custom orthotics. Most insurances don't cover it, but you can use your HSA. They cost a lot. They require a period of adjustment. And some people just cannot tolerate custom orthotics. And unfortunately, you don't know it until you try it. And one way I test for that is putting a patient in an arch strapping, which is a tape strapping. And I have a video on how to do it yourself. So if they can tolerate this taped arch strapping, usually can tolerate a custom orthotic. And please watch my video on how to do this and how to apply it to yourself. Also see my video on over-the-counter Spencos orthotic on how to mold it to your foot, to yourself as well. But custom ordered orthotics in my practice have been so transformative on the right patient. They're not for everyone and not for every foot problem, so talk to your podiatrist to see if it's right for you. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. If you learned anything or if I've helped you at all, please like and subscribe to my channel, and please leave me comments and I'll answer any questions that you have. If you have any topics you'd like me to cover, please leave that in the comments as well, and I'll do an episode on that in the future. And thanks so much. We'll see you next time.